putting the 50-gallon aquarium build pieces together. As I shared in one of my videos, this is a project that I had from a client, right? Okay, so I have just cleaned the aquarium, as you can see, with some newspapers, right? Wet newspaper, dry newspaper, and I've rubbed it, and it's there. The bottom part doesn't need to be rubbed because substrate will be in it. I just allowing it to dry. It is suspended about 2 inches off the mat. Stay tuned as I share with you some of the final steps. So I have actually finished rubbing down this, and I'm going to be going to the table next. So I gave this project to a co-worker of mine, and his work was to build the table, spirit and everything. And he got it for about 9 months, and this is where it is at. Every day is an excuse, and I did a video regarding that. But I can't give my client this. And so what I'm going to be doing, based on what I've actually learned in the shop, I'm going to be doing some fine tuning. I'm going to be doing some touching up. I'm going to be countersinking some screws here. I'm going to be filling out here, right? And I'm going to be filling the spaces here, right, based on what I've actually learned in the shop. So stay with me. Purchasing ponal glue at the bookstore or at a stationery center, it can be very expensive. A bottle of ponal glue like this probably can cost probably 2,000 or more, right? So I purchased it at a furniture store that sells bulk ponal, right? And what I'm going to be doing, instead of using the lacquer or the whatever the gentleman had used, I'm going to be using ponal along with some sawdust to actually fill the holes. Alright, so follow me as I make this concoction so that the holes doesn't look all that bad. No, it doesn't have any strength, but it has an aesthetic value that makes the whatever you're making out of board look really smooth and good. After which I've filled all the holes, countersink and all of that, I'm gonna be sandpapering it down and wiping it off, and then now I'm going to be heading to deliver it at my client's place of residence. Now my client will either use as is, or he will actually paint the actual the table. Okay, so I'm going to be mixing. Oh, I am also going to be placing a board here in the center, right? So we see how that one works out. Mixing this together to form a paste-like creation. I need to countersink some holes and put some screws within the table. I've mixed this too early, but I still have more stuff in which I can mix. But I've seen sections around the back where it needs to be done. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be placing this at this space. So it seems like an easy task, guys, but it's not, because I have to be holding the camera and ensuring that the stuff is actually within the crease. Alright, I'm going to be doing that for all of these spaces that are actually left open. Alright, now when it's dried, what I'm going to be doing is to sandpaper it down so it becomes smooth and at the level in which the board is at. And I'm going to continue doing it all around, but I'm just going to be using out this stuff until it's finished, and then I'm going to be doing some drill work in which I'm going to be be screwing down section. I'm going to be putting probably 2 screws at the back right here, so as to get this space to be a little bit closer. So I might not finish the entire line here. But right for now, but it's gonna be done. Alright, it's gonna be done, and then yeah. What this does is to seal the table, so when the doors are closed, right, you won't have any insects going in and actually messing around with the feed that is stored within the inner section of the table. Right, I'm not going to mix anymore yet. I'm going to be doing some screwing. I'm going to be doing some counter screw, right? I'm going to be screwing it up, right, the base and all that. So I would like to probably place 2 more screws at the top, one here on this side, and probably 2 at the back, right? And 2 more here and 2 at the front. Now, as you can see, this table, right, right now you see some holes in it, right? These are countersink holes that the carpenter actually made when he was actually fitting the table together. Now, I want the table to be strong, to be firm, and I do not want the screws to be at the top, because if the screw is at the top, chances are it might agitate the base of the aquarium, although aquarium matting will be placed on it, but I do not want the screws at the top. And so what I've done, I've gotten a drill bit that is much larger than the screw itself. I'm going to be looking to see where I'm going to be placing the screws, right? And in line with this one, I'm going to be placing some holes that is much larger than the head of this, right? And I'm going to be placing the holes, and then now I'm going to be drilling the screws in it as required. So we see what happened there. All right, guys. So here I go. I think I can probably place. A screw here, right? So all I need to do is to turn. All I need to do is to turn the drill on, right? A little bit bigger. When the screw actually goes in, it sits down and it doesn't put you at the top. And then now I use the filler to actually fill in the space that have been created, right? And I need another one here, right? Probably over here. Right. Alright, so that's it, right, for that side. And I'm going to be placing probably 1 more here. I had said 2, but I think I place 1 more here. And right. 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 And at the front now, I'm going to follow this line. I'm going to place I'm going to place one at the end, here there's none at the end, so I'm gonna be placing one at the end. I have to ensure that it's lined up. Remember, guys, I'm not a carpenter. Alright, so I am just learning this thing so as to ensure alright. So tree over that side, tree over that side. The next thing I have to do now is to try and see if I can get some of that hole drilled here, because I want to ensure that the bottom is not just left up to gravity, right guys? So I'm gonna right. So I'm gonna replace it. Holes which suggest 3 screws. Alright. Right. And now this is the part in which I'm not too fond of. I'm gonna have to now try to guess this section about here, right? I think I might be going too high with that one, so I'm gonna go a little low. I'm gonna be following the top line of this. Let's put in 3 holes, right? So I'm learning, guys, I'm learning. The last 3 holes now, well, I'm going to put in 2 here. That's probably about. It's at the top of this one. So it's about here. Last one here. Now I'm going to be placing the screws, the holes that were actually drilled a while ago. Alright, so I'm just going to be drilling one on camera, and then I'm going to be drilling the rest, so as to ensure that the video is not. As you can see, the screw is below here, right? So I'm just going to be using the filler to fill it out, so as to ensure that it's not seen at the end of the project, right? So this is one in which I've done. share with you. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for all of them. When I'm finished, I'll get back to the camera. I've actually placed all the screws within the spaces, as you can see, right? So I'm going to have to do the same thing I did here. I'm going to now mix some stuff and fill in the holes and sandpaper it down, and that will be it for me. Right, so all these spaces will be filled out along with the cracks here. Also, some cracks and some notches that exist within the door. Right, the door just feels as if it's gonna fall apart. So I'm gonna see if I can do something about that. So the countersink holes are being covered by the filler. And so when this is sand down and all that, it will just blend in, because the sawdust being used to make this filler is also cedar. And I will share it with you in another video. Why is it that 3 different type of board is actually used to build this table? Alright, so that is in another video. So although the table will not be with me, it will be delivered. It's an incomplete task, so that means there is no monies on this. Yeah, no monies on this. I'm just doing this just to ensure my credibility still stands, because I'm not a carpenter. I'm just trying to leave it at a pace wherein which my customer can actually, my client can actually siphon out what's, all of that to be done. Alright, so I am filling out the holes. Alright, filling out the holes in the top, and then I'm going to be filling out the holes at the side, and then when it's dried, I'm going to be doing some sandpapering to get it smoothed off. Or should I say smooth off, English language. Alright. Sorry for the shaking of the hand, and probably the hand is not really directly over what I'm doing, but you have to see with me. I'm not used to this type of thing. Alright. Alright. The table is moving because it's a driveway I'm in, and my driveway is not flat. It's like have a slant like thing, so it will sound that way because I live on something like a hill. So I'm gonna have to make some more. So to put into the holes at the side. So when these are dried, I just take the sandpaper and sandpaper the section. Alright, so I'm gonna be mixing some more, and I'm gonna be placing on the side of the project.